So the Iran talks actually seem to have picked back up and are bearing fruit again. I remember last week we were talking about how they stalled out because Trump said something along the lines of that he wanted Iran to relinquish its nuclear energy program as well. But since then, a lot of things have happened. And I mentioned that Mike Waltz was fired from the national security advisor position and moved over to the United Nations. But we didn't talk about really why. Like, I mean, I guess we talked about how Trump thought he was more loyal to Netanyahu than Trump and shit canned him. So we did talk about why, but we didn't talk about like what else happened as a result of that, because it all happened after we recorded.
Right.
But in the process of all of that happening, Trump decided to cut off Netanyahu. Like, he went no contact with Netanyahu. Bibi used to be able to pick up the phone and get Trump whenever he wanted. Trump is reportedly furious with the Israelis, and that sort of bears out in his conduct over the past week, where he flies to the Middle East, goes to Saudi Arabia, and does not go to Israel. He made a deal with the Houthis, with Ansar Allah, basically made a separate peace with Ansar Allah that did not include protecting Israeli shipping or Israel, which infuriated the Israelis.
Yeah.
And he restarted the Iran talks, and progress has been made. And it looks as though he's backed down off of some of the threats that were being made against Iran. So Netanyahu really fucked things up by doing what Israel always does, which is try to manipulate American politicians. But I guess, Joe Biden used to get grouchy with Netanyahu, supposedly, but in a way that did not hamper the relationship at all. It was just something that was reported in the media to make it look like Netanyahu had a problem with the genocide going on. But Trump reportedly doesn't have a problem with the genocide, but has a problem with being manipulated. So that is harming relations with Israel. So functionally, Trump is the lesser evil here still when it comes to Israel-Palestine. Trump is actually, at this point, because of his ego and because of his narcissism, trying to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East. And I'll take it, I guess.
I mean, just think about what it would mean for Trump if he was the guy that finally brought about some kind of a, he was able to alter the landscape.
To decouple from Israel in some fashion. But anyway, so Iran has offered to limit its uranium enrichment to levels necessary for power generation only, to submit to inspections, and essentially revive the JCPOA, except for that this would be an open-ended thing. It would be in perpetuity. It wouldn't just be for 10 years like Obama's JCPOA was. Tehran does demand firm guarantees that the U.S. will not withdraw again, though. They've also proposed the creation of a consortium of Middle Eastern states that would share enriched uranium, including the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The UAE, who has a civilian reactor but no enrichment capabilities, and Saudi Arabia, who is looking in this last meeting with Trump to develop nuclear power. And it sounds like Trump is going to share nuclear power technology with them in order for them to be able to do so. Independent of the previous requirements that he had in order to do so, those requirements being that Saudi Arabia normalize relations with Israel. So he has removed that caveat from the agreement and has gone ahead with it, indicating that this rift between Israel and Trump isn't just being blown out of proportion the way that a lot of people in AIPAC are saying, like AIPAC-sponsored people are saying. So, I mean, if that was to go through, that would make the uranium enrichment process like between these three parties, two of whom are major U.S. allies in the region, and it would make them accountable to U.S. allies. So I think that Trump could actually go for that. It seems likely, especially now that he doesn't have the Netanyahu monkey on his back.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's a genuinely like a I don't know, maybe even I don't want to say I'm hopeful, but I guess maybe I am that you know, this
He needs a
petulant
W. He should
this
take this win.
yeah, absolutely. And so
Yeah, that's why I think it might happen, because he needs a win badly.
yeah, and so maybe this petulant hubristic childishness will be good for a change,
Right.
which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And if it happens that way, then I'll be very happy to say, yeah, this is because of Donald Trump. Great.
Yep.
Everything else, all the other terrible stuff, that's still also because of Donald Trump, though.
So apparently Israeli officials are struggling to get in contact with Trump, reportedly. And this is, and if you read the American press talking about what's going on, the major Zionist outlets are like New York Times or whatever, are kind of downplaying what's going on. But Israel is freaking the fuck out about it if you read the Hebrew press. I hope they're right.
Yeah, I mean, just something. If Israel is freaking out about anything, it's something about that just makes you smile,
Right?
or it should, anyways.
Trump announces the end of sanctions on Syria. Apparently, while he was in the Persian Gulf, he met with al-Jolani and made an agreement to lift sanctions on Syria. Did you see what Trump said about him? Like that he's like a handsome, tough guy with a hard past.
With a hard past.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Fucking of chopping the heads off of Christians.
Yeah, blowing up American servicemen and
raping and killing Druze and Alawites, and
it's a hard past.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really tough to be a, genocidal fucking Islamist terrorist. But anyway, so things are all cool now. Al-Jolani, or what is Al-Shara, I think is his real name that he's going by again. And honestly, like, this is a good thing for the majority of the people of Syria. It means that food will be easier to get, medical supplies will be easier to get. But it really just underscores the utter fucking hypocrisy of American diplomacy. And also, I thought that Putin and Assad were controlling Trump. If that's the case, why is Trump recognizing the biggest enemy of Assad and Russia's biggest enemy in the region?
Apparently, Chris, you've only played chess in 3 dimensions.
Oh, yes.
You have to add this 4th dimension to even just consider the possibilities.
So Syria's government has been pitching investment opportunities to Trump for a few weeks now, including an offered space for a Trump Tower in Damascus. So that might give you an idea of why Trump has decided to lift sanctions on Syria. That's also something that Israel does not want Trump to do. Israel doesn't want stability in Syria, because then it might have to withdraw, and it wants there to be Israel's goal, and actually NATO's goal, is for a dismantled, constantly unstable Syria.
Yeah, they want to balkanize Syria.
Yes,
just like they want to balkanize Russia, and they want to balkanize Iran. They want to balkanize everywhere except for the NATO countries.
Just like they balkanized the Balkans.
Yeah.
So moving south, the genocide continues in Gaza. It's being ramped up, actually, as Israel strikes hospitals to kill journalists, which is something they're not supposed to do. That's already a war crime, is killing journalists, but they're blowing up entire hospitals, including a European-run hospital.
Well, it's also a war crime to bomb hospitals.
Yes. The genocide is apparently increasing in tempo. I've seen heartbreaking tweets from people saying that I hope everyone is paying attention because we are being killed now. This is them exterminating us. This is the last push to exterminate the Palestinians in Gaza. So, that's what's going on in Israel. I don't really have much else to report about that, except for that the world watches while a genocide in real time is happening. All this never again nonsense and the 80th anniversary of the end of the Holocaust doesn't fucking matter. it's all for nothing. It will certainly happen again, and is currently
happening
by
again,
the
yeah.
survivors, by the descendants of the survivors of the first Holocaust. It's a new Holocaust in Gaza is being perpetrated by those people.
It's somehow worse that this endorsement and support is coming from figures from the UK Labour Party.
Yep.
Somehow that's worse. Makes it even worse than just regular.
And Germany, who I think that they're just having FOMO, you know?